Latvian Song and Dance Festival is a tradition which started 150 years ago. All choirs from Latvia are singing Latvian folk songs and then coming together in this venue to make a choir of up to 20,000 singers. This is the place where previous stage was built in 1950. It was technically in very bad condition. We had to rebuild it. This is interesting type of reconstruction because in one hand we are embracing the existing forest, we are embracing the road system and the audience field here, and we are reusing this place but making a new tribune here. And in the other hand, this is a reconstruction of mythology which is important for Latvians. This is a mythology of silver forest, a mythology of forest as a beautiful place for sound, for your inner sound, for your existence.
Stuķi Barn is a private home, and before we started working on it, it was an agricultural building used as a cowshed. And the building has aged, and it has aged beautifully, and we wanted to retain and to emphasize the building's age. At the same time, we wanted to preserve the simplicity of the agricultural building and to express the simplicity of countryside living. That was my intention, to find balance between the landscape and the man-made objects, between old and new, between different materials, between the family and the guests, between mornings and evenings, etc.
Perhaps this is the oldest wooden synagogue in Eastern Europe. This wooden synagogue is not perfect, it's not brilliant, but it's very real and exposes the real life of Jewish people in poor, small town in Latgale. In every object there are some very special key points. In Luza's synagogue was the way how to feel the fingerprints of carpenters, of plasterers, of painters, of people who has built this building. Everything what we see in the building is live. Everything is real there, and I tried to keep it like it is.
We are standing in the Roche Pharmacy Company building. It's built in 1932. This building was really innovative. There was many features like never before. And nowadays, we also came with this approach to have innovative new things what never happened before. So we have somehow we try to make a bridge for the time of this company to show the history and the maybe nowadays or even future. In the process of the designing this building, we were thinking about what would be the best solution. We were looking what we're challenging. We all the time were challenging ourselves, and we try to reach the best possible solution. We did it. We can say we did it with this building.
This place started as my studio. When I started, there were only remains of the old barn, or cattle shed, and I kind of didn't touch them or didn't try to renovate them, but I kind of left them as they were, and I kind of built around them. At first it was just this part of the roof which was built to paint large-scale paintings here, and then year after year some other parts joined, and so I see it in a way as a sculpture which is slowly developing through the time. It's like a living creature that is growing bigger, getting older, and so on.
Always when I come here, I feel this place like a temple of music. Even the architecture, somehow from the outside, it reminds a temple building. Mostly of new 1,500 square meters are the underground level, and step by step, space by space, interior becomes like darker. At the end, like a crescendo, you come in this dark red concert hall to understand that the way to the concert hall was like a preparation to be able to see these red walls. And generally, our team of architects try to work with feelings and sensations, less with some new, bright architect's idea.
That is Soviet industrial heritage, pump station for growing salmons. That was crazy plan for the local collective farm, away from the coast about 300 meters on artificial islands. And this is something in between, that you are not neither on the coast, neither in the sea. Once in your life you want to make something that not ordinary houses. And then it's like sculpture, like object of design. And always are questions, how could you make such a large space? And that is so cozy, so good for living. And this is excellent place for thinking, for drawing, for writing. The best is when I'm here alone. I never feel lonely here. The house helps me.
This is a venue, but not like only a cultural venue, but like a venue for events. Building is old, it's been abandoned for a while. The philosophy is straight ahead, coming here and signing the contract with the owner was that we won't change anything, but we will not interfere with the history where it is on the walls. The former glory is vanished, and now we only see like small details and accents of what it was, and that is also kind of a strength of it. This past glory. You have to live in a house or to do something in a house. Culture is probably the only thing that can happen here still, without major investments, and therefore it stays alive, old but alive.
The National Museum of Art of Latvia is the result of international competition from 2010. Young Lithuanian architects won with a very delicate offer. The authors offered extension untraditional, and was an underground extension, and they offered to use the upper part of the building, the roof space, which was unused before. We got a new space, we got a new volume, but it is invisible. And that's a very delicate approach. We got an interesting solution for the storage of the artifacts. So the public loo goes around the storage. It's a part of the public way. So for me, the National Museum of Art is an excellent coexistence of the old and new.
Jūtīga is one of the most beautiful and the oldest towns of Latvia. We are masters to open the places, to get some social point, not to just sit in a nice building and keep it like private space. I really wanted to open this house for the public, and that's why there is the gallery, and by now it's a cafe also. You see the wall, you see the historical things on it or not, and then you choose how to work with this. Making some copies like some fake, this is not how I love to work. I choose only to keep some real stuff and somehow to work with it.
It is a project that we designed and built for Annecy Landscape Festival in French Alps. It is a project where we tried to create a symbiosis between contemporary architecture and traditional craftsmanship. We had a craftsman who kind of touched and shaped each of those baskets, and that brings actually kind of like a soul to each of the baskets and the project generally. The project was an experiment, but it had these two parts. One was the kind of more or less safe part, that is this traditional grid shell structure, something that has been done before, and then it has this kind of fragile experimental part that was this wicker work. Physically fragile, but also kind of mentally fragile, something that is kind of you cannot foresee. Only by doing we can test out how it will look and work in the end. This is something what we knew already when we started to design and when we built it, that this is something what it will not be there forever. And that's why I think it's what also makes us appreciate the moment of it being present.
During the Second World War, Jānis Lipke and his family, they risked and they saved around 60 Jews from Riga ghetto. Jānis Lipke was hiding people in a well under his barn, 3 to 3 meters. This memorial is built on associations, and this barn then becomes probably a symbol of Noah's Ark, turned over boat. Because this is not house for living, it is house for memories. Since we opened, people come here simply to stop and to think. What would have been my role in these crossroads of history?
Lielplatoni Wash House is part of a bigger MENA complex located in southern Latvia, and basically it serves the same function as a washing machine today, so it was a place for washing the clothes. But it has an additional second floor, which is very ornate and allows the wind to blow through and to dry the clothes, so actually to serve as a drying machine. Original low construction of the building had preserved its original patina, and also all the substituted members were tinted to match the old log walls, so the resulting building, resulting interior would be as harmonic and as unified as possible. The building nowadays serves as a museum. It's rather popular. Even newly married people go there for their first experience how things happened some 100 or more years ago.
We are standing in the Hanzas Perons, which was former freight station warehouse, railway station warehouse, and it was not a heritage, it was not a monument, and now this place has become one of the most important cultural venues in Riga. We wanted to keep the existing building in the existing condition. We didn't want to change a character of it. To do so, we needed to make a new frame around the building, like a new glass coat around the existing volume. I have learned one important thing, that before you start to change or before you start to do some addition, you have to understand the building, and you have to know the building as your friend. You become a friend with the building.
I could compare this house to like an old lady.
For me, this object is an instrument.
For me, this object is a wooden spaceship.
Piece of amber.
Summer breeze.
Equilibrium.
Senses, memories, and questions to myself.
Place and space where to pray.
For me, this object is living creature.
For me, is a teacher.
Coexistence.
This object for me is house of my life.
This object for me is like a sugar